thought I'd end this class with a little video here talking about the final project. And so let me do that. You can see here the final project module here at the bottom of Canvas here under the module section. And I did this little research paper writing, and so I call it Dan's version, but basically it's some kind of tips and hints since I've over the years done so many different papers, research papers in my graduate school as well as undergrad. And so I thought maybe I could add a few things to that. So that's what this is. And then topics, I'm sure you're at this point, you've totally got your topic. If you haven't, you could still put a topic together. If you're concerned about the topic, please let me know. I can talk with you about it. If you're, it does need to be related to land history of America. So there's lots of things to do in that. And if you want to talk to me about that and haven't chosen a topic yet, please do so and let me know what it is. It is APA format, so there's a link there that talks about APA format, what that amounts to. You can do an oral history at this point. If you haven't already done that or asked me about it, nobody has. I wouldn't be doing that at this point. You're not going to have time to do it. But as far as the research goes, hopefully you've already made good progress and you're already moving along in your research. So I thought I'd just spend a few minutes talking about our final project here, and this is the final exam, is this project. So let me bring that up here, and I've got this writing a research paper, my process, and this is just what I like to do. So basically, and I'm going to go through this quickly, so you can read it, but I'll just kind of augment it a little bit. Define a topic, of course, and then perform broad research. Stay open for new ideas about the topic. You may change the topic. The approach might be a little different. Just kind of stay open to that. Do broad research and kind of get an idea. Start to narrow it down a little bit. Then write a purpose statement. Your theme, basically, what it is you want to do. 1 to 2 sentences. Don't get carried away with too much length on that. You want to just keep it short and to the point, and that'll help narrow your subject down. Then narrow and refine your research. Come back in and keep track of it. Now, what I do is in the Word, I actually create 2 Word documents. One is my a Word document that I just use. I just call it research and just drop all my stuff in. And when you're dropping this in, you're copying it from cut and pasting from different places. You need to keep track of your sources. So I highly recommend that you copy whatever material you're going to do, paraphrasing it doesn't matter, just copy stuff, and then paste it in, but make sure you paste in the link and make sure you paste in the citations. So that's going to save you a ton of time, because otherwise you got to go back and find out, where did I get that from? It's going to be very difficult for you to do. So copy that all in, the content as well as your research content as well as the citing of the source. Then look through that and start on your second Word document, start to refine and narrow that a little bit as you start to narrow your search down a little bit, adding to this research document. And then you can start going through and write an outline. Okay, you've kind of got stuff in your head now. You've done the research. You've got not all of it, but you've done a big lion's share of it at this point then. And now you want to go back through and go, what I've got my theme. Do I need to change my theme? My purpose is, after learning more about it, I can tweak that a little bit. Yep, you want to do that. And then you want to go back through and look at and fill out an outline. How do I want to approach this topic, this research? How do I want to explain it? What's going to make the most sense? And just do a basic outline and then start expanding on a little bit more as you go. Now, that actually works really well using Word as well on this. And I'll show you what I'm talking about there with this. So let me just go over here and pull up a Word document here. And this is just a basic document here. What I would do is go to View, and you can go navigation pane. So click on that. So you've got a navigation pane over here. So what happens as soon as you start categorizing stuff, like say here, this is just body text here. But if I go over and put home and go to these headings, and I put a heading over here, as soon as I type a heading in, it's gonna add up right over here. So you see it shows up in your pages. You put another heading down over here, and maybe let's say this is a subheading. So now I want to use this heading instead of 3. I'm going to use a subheading. Now you can see it shows up on your navigation. This starts to really help you when you're putting together an outline. From this navigation here, you can also create your table of contents. So you got your layout here. You can do excuse me, insert table of contents. Where's that at? Well, you see, you got headers and footers, page numbers, use all that stuff, page breaks. Let's see, I'll find it here in just a second. I'm kind of doing this on the fly, so I didn't take the time to look at it ahead of time. Okay, oh, here's references. Now this is, oh, here's table of contents right here. So you click on table of contents, and you can actually create a table of contents, and it'll come right straight off this navigation. That's what I was trying to get to, which is really handy. So you can kind of organize your outline this way. Here's your citations. So you can insert a citation and manage sources. You can insert one, add a new source, and then it pops up, and you talk about the different kinds. There's a website, whatever kinds there are, and it actually helps you walk through this stuff. You can take and fill that out at the time. Now, I wouldn't do this right now, this sources, until you kind of know what all the sources are that you can actually use in it. So this one document that's got all your research in it, everything, just pages and pages. Sometimes I've done, on this size of paper, you probably have 20 pages or more of just content, documents of all kinds of things you've cut and paste. And you've got the sources in there. Just you've copied the sources in. Like if you do the UVU database searching stuff, you can actually ask it, for an APA citation, and you click on that, and it'll drop that citation into that content you've copied. That's awesome. Works great. Now, when you come back through and you start to develop this outline here on the left, and you start to read through your stuff, and you start to cut stuff from your research document into your actual paper that you're doing, your final project paper, then you start to put stuff in. You can start putting things under these headings. But I'd go through and make these headings all right off to start with. These are the outline. This is kind of how you're going to work with your project. So you can take then, and as you have other headings, so I've got another heading. I'll go over here and put another heading here and say, I'm being super creative here, I can see. So I'll go another one here, another subheading, call it another subheading, whatever the name of it is. And see, now you've got two of these, so you can take this and pick it and put it right there, so you can just swap these. So a whole section, you can just take a pick and move it up there and move it around. Works really slick. So don't worry about that too much, whether everything's in the exact order that you want right now. Just get the outlines in there and then start dropping content, all this text in here, start dropping this stuff in from your other research document, start putting stuff in that you want. It's like, well, no, that doesn't really make any sense. You look at, okay, now I can't quote all that because you're not going to be able to quote all this stuff. You're going to have to paraphrase, and you're going to have to put a lot of stuff in your own words. So take a look at that and start typing a bunch of stuff in your own words. Get under a different subheading you're doing and start, okay, well, this belongs really under here, and you can change it, obviously. But, start typing it in there and get that stuff out of your head and onto the paper or onto the, into your Word doc. And make sure you save regularly. So once you start getting that put together and you start to put things in, paraphrasing stuff or dropping full quotes in if you need to, or most of it's going to be your own wording. So then type your own wording in there and start putting it into this outline that you've already developed here under this navigation pane. Super helpful here. Again, don't worry about wording being perfect. Don't worry about whether you paraphrase something and it's like, I better put that in my own words. So you're going to change it. Okay, that's fine. Just get it in there, and then you can come back through and refine a little bit later. So I'm going to go back to my document here that I was showing you. So now we're down here. So write an outline. So I would recommend use that navigation. It works really well. And then read through your research material, cutting and pasting information that you want to include in your paper from your research document into your actual finished document. It's not finished right now, your draft document, we'll call it that. And then place or write the material into the outline, like I just was saying. Place quotes, pictures, etc. into the outline in the correct place. So now I say correct place, but you can change it. Just like I showed you over here in Word, you can sit there and change this document, from here, back down to here. You can just move this around all you want to. You can take these major headings and move them around. So don't worry about the order as much right now. Just get stuff in. And that's the important thing right now. Okay, so now we're down here on outline. Okay, place quotes, pictures, etc. in there. Right. Do a rough draft. Now you want to go through the whole document at least once. Get it all in there in this rough draft document. And you've cut and pasted stuff from or copied and pasted stuff from your research document. In fact, I would never cut anything because you might have to go back and do stuff. and then get it all in there, and then go through and try to write the whole thing from beginning to end, and adding stuff in it, and just putting your own words in, and take a section at a time. So you don't have to do this all in one night. Don't do that, but just do sections of it. Come back and do another section the next night. Get your mind into it again, and do that, and then refine your purpose statement. Go back and really look at your purpose statement. Is all the content I'm doing, does this purpose statement make sense? And then again, read and reread and revise some more. Now you're starting to really hone in on what your paper is going to look like. That's when you take and move the outline around a little bit. Maybe, I don't like this down here. It makes more sense to be at the front of the paper. Okay, slip it up there to the top. That's why this navigation works super easy, because you can now start to organize the paper, write different sections, add a new heading if you need to, put that in there, organize it where you want it to go, and start really refining your paper and getting out of this rough draft into moving it towards a final draft. Then the last one here, the next one down is 13. Smooth the transition sentences between topics and the outline. So now you want to start looking at how things read and does it make sense. Getting kind of spelling and grammatical errors out of the way. Get a lot of that stuff taken care of now. So now do a check print of the final draft. Now, I don't want an actual print paper. Unless you really want to print it out on a piece of paper, you don't need to do this. But I would totally have everything all double spaced. APA is double spaced anyway, so you may even want to make it bigger spaced if you wanted to, if you want to print it out and write between the lines. If you're not going to do that, I wouldn't even worry about doing this step here. Just put it all in double spaced like the APA standard calls for, and then just start tweaking, cutting and pasting and moving things around, and writing and rewriting and rereading and rereading and revising. Okay. So edit the body content with the red or blue pen. That's if you're going to print it out. If you don't want to print it out, you don't need to do that. Fix the problem areas in the Word document. Yep. Fix all that stuff. Then, after you're pretty happy with the whole body of the paper, now you come back through and do your table of contents. And as I said, right here, you can do this table of contents directly from here. You can go over here to, I can't find it again now. Let's see, references, and then go to table of contents and pick one of these. And I actually don't care which one. It does need to meet APA standard, and I believe it's one of these two here are the APA standards. But you can actually look that up. I've given you a citation in Canvas. I'll show you where that is right there. There's a link right here, APA format link. You can look at that stuff. That will also tell you what your sources look like. And then we're back over to this document here. Okay, so the other thing is you get to this point here too, you want to get your executive summary. Now, all the executive summary is it's just an abstract, another name for an abstract. In APA, it's called executive summary. And then sources. So now you want to go back through and make sure that you've got all your sources from your, I had you do that in your, that's what I was saying before, when you're putting all your research in, make sure you put your citations in there. Well, now is the time, because now you know what you've actually included in your paper. Now you want to make sure that you go through and pull those out, get your citations all done like I showed you, in your sources, manage your sources, get them all in there, and then you can actually print those at the end, references, citations at the end of the paper. We don't, APA is not footnotes, it's endnote. And so other pages, etc. as needed. Make sure you organize your pictures like you need to, whatever you need to in that whole document. Get that all the formatting done and all your extra pages all done, table of contents, executive summary, sources, all that stuff's all done. And then go back through and also, and maybe on the way, check to make sure that you're meeting APA standards. It's a different standard than others. They teach MLA in your English classes, and APA is what we use in the industry most of the time. So we like to go have you switch over to APA. So look at those standards. Look at things like pagination, your page numbers. Look at headers, that kind of stuff on your sheet. All that stuff's really easily taken care of in Word. And then you don't have to print this at all. But what you might want to do though is actually print it to a PDF, because you're going to have to do that to submit it to me anyway. Look through your PDF, and does it look right? Do the pictures you have, and on the pictures, by the way, in APA standard, you need to have figure 1, figure 2, whatever, image 1, image 2, however you want to organize it, but they need to be set out, and so you need to have sources for those pictures as well. So that stuff needs to be in there, and then so you can it's not just a picture; it has a picture with a caption on it. So you can insert a picture into Word, click on it, hit the right button. Once you click on the picture, you get the right button, get it organized where you want to, and hit the right button and go add caption. So you want to add captions and all that kind of stuff. So that all needs to be there. So what I'm saying is when you go to print a PDF of it, because that's what I'm going to see, make sure that the pictures and the text all work together, that the pages come out right. You don't have some weird, orphaned sentence somewhere. You have things so that it flows right and it looks right. And then copy that. Print it if you want to, whatever. Send a copy of it to a friend or whatever that's not in the class and go, can you look this over, see what you think, give me some input. What I'm asking for you to do is basically proofread it. Set it aside, a couple of days even, or at least one day, and then reread it again, make last final revisions on it. Make sure your spelling's good. Spelling's really annoying. There's no reason for you to have misspelled words in a document like this. You could have words that are not used correctly, but as far as the word being spelled correctly, there's spell check in Microsoft Word. You should have no trouble having that corrected. But again, it does not correct word usage necessarily. So in other words, if you've got there is T-H-E-I-R, which is a possessive, as opposed to T-H-E-R-E, which is referring to place or condition. So that kind of stuff, it's not going to correct for you. So you need to look at that kind of thing. Make sure you're all correct there. Once you've got it and you're all happy with it, give a PDF print of the thing again. Read it, look at it all again. Make sure what I'm getting is exactly what you want me to get, and then submit that PDF. So that's in a real quick video. That's what I'm suggesting that you do here. And as we close out this again, just want to say that this is the end of this is the last assignment. So let me go to here and show you here. This is the last, as far as the calendar goes. Let me switch over to calendar real quick. Flop out a couple things here. Okay, so we're not going to do these presentations, but well, actually that's not true. We are going to do the presentations, so I do need to talk about that. So we're going to the final week of class. I don't think how long it'll take. I'm not sure that with as many people as we have. One person's dropped out, so we're probably only going to have 3 or maybe 4 of these presentations. So let's do that all in one day. As far as I'm concerned, we could do this presentation on the 10th. So I'm going to delete this one right here. We'll just do it on the 10th. So you need to be prepared to give your presentation in a PowerPoint, and then you also need to give me, when you submit your final report right here, research paper project, you're going to submit that along with, and also submit your research, your PowerPoint presentation you're going to give to us in the class. So we will, we actually don't need to, this is not going to be a team meeting. I need to make sure I'm clear on this. You need to make a presentation. You need to add the narration to the PowerPoint for each slide. That's what you're going to submit. You don't actually have to, we're not going to meet. We're not going to do a team meeting. We're not supposed to do that. It's supposed to be a purely online class. So we don't have to meet at some particular time. But it needs to be done that day. I think I got it for noon. So let me just change that here so that we can, it should be midnight that night is what we're looking at. So let me just change that so that it shows up. Let's see, can I do time? Doesn't look like I can do time. 10th. Oh, here's the time here. Okay, so it's going to be 11:59 right there. That's when it's due. Whoops. Oh, I see. I've made it into an event. Okay, my bad. Okay, this is the this needs to be changed into an assignment. So okay, I'll do that outside of the video here. But you can. This is actually an assignment that you'll actually make a presentation with your PowerPoint. Now if you don't want to use a PowerPoint, that's okay. Most people do. It's just easier to present material that way, and it works a lot better. I would highly recommend it. But if your presentation on your particular topic is going to be better suited to another form, some other kind of video or whatever, that's fine. But you need to have a presentation done by midnight on Thursday night. You're going to submit that. Again, I'll change this from an event to an actual assignment here, and then you'll send that, submit that PowerPoint, and you're verbalizing your narration of the PowerPoint or video or whatever you're going to do. And then the last project or last assignment in the class is this research history project. So that's it. So I wanted to make sure that you were okay with that. I'm going to send this along with an announcement and make sure everybody knows that everything's due on the 17th. And actually, you know what I might do here to give you a little bit more time, I might shift this out here, this research presentation, I might shift it to the 17th. So everything's going to be due on the 17th. In fact, that's what I'll do. All right, so that's all I really wanted to talk about at this point. And hopefully you learned a little bit of something in the last few weeks. You've been doing some of the stuff all along, but this might help you to really put things together as you start to assemble it. Sometimes I'll do it this 3 or 4 weeks before the end of the class. I'm doing it now. It's the first today. You'll have 2.5 weeks. And, honestly, even if you started from right now, of course, you'd have to really focus on it. You could still start your research project even right now. So no reason not to get it done. It is look through the requirements. It is a 5,000 word paper. It's no small task. And it also, you have to have, I think it's 8 different sources that you've cited. They need to be, this is your work. You're not just going to drop in a bunch of quotes from people and big segments of their writing, and that's going to be your paper. You will not do well on your assignment. That's not going to come out well for you for grade. You need to put your own writing into it. You can paraphrase what people say, and you can have some quotes in there. That's fine, but most of the writing is going to be yours. And so that's how that works. So that takes time, especially this time of the semester. So I think that's all I've got to say, and we'll it's been good to have you in class. You guys have done a great job as I read through and looked at and graded your reflections and research and reflections and how you've done on the quizzes and so on like that, the midterm exams. And it sounds like you've all learned a lot. One thing that was suggested by a couple of people actually is that this is the first time I've actually had it pure online, so not everything was geared exactly like I wanted it to. And I think what I want to do is go back through and I'll do some narration of my own on these PowerPoints and try to add a little more to them and make it, honestly, I get really enthusiastic about it because it's a fun subject. The whole history class is really a fun class for me. So I'll do those videos and next year. I'm not going to do it for now, but I'll have those in there. That'll be videos of the different parts of this and maybe set up into several different videos that you can look at. And I might link some other videos that people have done on some of these particular topics so that you can see other people's opinions other than just mine. Okay, thank you very much, and good to have you in class, and hope you enjoyed it. Please do your SRI. You see down here in assignment 2, I give you extra credit, 5 extra credit points for filling out a student rating of instructor. I always appreciate those ratings and whatever comments you have there. They're completely anonymous, as you already know, but please take the time to do that and submit the receipt that you've done it, that you've actually done the SRI, and then you submit that and you get extra credit for it. All right, very good.